All right, go ahead and grab your milk ball. And let's just start actually, oddly enough, with the milk ball in our hand. And I'm just gonna have you take the milk ball to your hand and then just kind of squeeze it back and forth. Really just to kind of just get your hands involved in this whole thing. And then we're gonna do a standing, just a real quick standing head treatment, real quick. And then we're gonna take the ball then to our feet and we'll do a foot treatment. And then we're gonna do some movement on our legs and stuff, so mobility on our legs. All right, go ahead and just give it a nice good squeeze in your right hand as a test to kind of see how your weight in your hand, pressure in your hand is, and then your left hand. Good, and then close your eyes. Let's go ahead and take it behind. So you're taking it behind the ear on the right side or left, you choose. I'm gonna just move my hair out of the way. And you're just gonna give it a nice, good little spin back there. Remember, when you're doing this, you're not spinning the ball only, you're pinning the skin and spinning and kind of twisting the tissue. Couple of twists back there. Pause, and then push some pressure into it, and then just make a circle. Clockwise or counterclockwise, doesn't particularly matter. Again, if you don't want to move your hair out of the way or don't need to, you don't have to. Take a couple of deep breaths, pause, and then release. Let's take the ball up to that line, just kind of in line with the ear, just where like your glasses would be. Put the ball there again and just give it a little twist. And again, you could do this seated if you wanted to. You don't have to stand. I just figured since we were standing, we would start standing, pause, and now circle. And then again, pause and hold and release. Now, if our head was in two separate pieces, I'm gonna go up to the middle between the eyes and then just to the right side. So not right down the center. So you have two sides to your head, a right side and a left side. So if you went right between, you'd hit the center and then you're just gonna stay right. So I'm not really in the center. I'm just off to the right slightly and I'm twisting. Make your eyes blink a little bit. And then pause and then circle. And again, I'm circling the tissue. I'm not making the ball roll on the forehead. Kind of feels nice. And then pause. And then release. And let's do the other side. So go to the left side, unless you already started with that side, of course. Put it behind the ear. Give it that little twist. And breathe while you do that. You can sometimes already feel some release of sinuses. Pause and then circle that head. So I was told that our pollen is about 25 times worse this year, so already so far. And this, what I have is more than likely just like a sinus from the pollen in the air. Pause, which is really awesome, right? And then let's release and then go to that spot. So if my glasses line went down to my ear, I'm going to pin that spot and I'm going to twist. Pause and then circle. Now, of course, there's always tolerable pressure. We're not looking for tolerable pain. Pause. And then again, if your face was drawn in half, just stay to the left side of your half. And then twist. Pause. And then circle. And then pause. And then release. Good. I'm just going to take the ball, put it on the ground. You can do whatever you want to with it. And then we're just going to rinse down. So you're going to go like you're sweeping the forehead, then down. This is called the rainfall. Then down past the nose, down the throat, and then behind the neck, just kind of rolling behind the ears down towards the collarbones again. And you can do that again And I'm doing it very, very lightly. Like I'm just giving myself with my own facial. If you've never had a facial, imagine the light touch of a facial. And then from behind the ears down to my collarbones. Good. Good. That's it for that. All right. Go ahead and grab that ball again. Mine disappeared and rolled away. Let's do a little mini foot treatment. So we're going to start with the feet parallel to the ground just to check in at our position. Roll those shoulders up, back, and around. Just pause and stand. Relax the glutes. Let the knees kind of drop and feel the toes evenly weighted into the ground. Close your eyes. And just kind of feel the weight of both feet. Notice where your weight is. Mine's big toe, my right foot, a little bit more. Maybe heel on my left side. It's always kind of weird when it's that way. Lift up all 10 toes as best you can. Notice what happens if your weight shifts dramatically or just kind of finds it's more balanced. And take a deep breath and drop all 10 toes. Good, just kind of notice what happens. You can go with it for a second. All right, so from there, so you've noticed that, take the ball underneath one of your feet. We'll start with a little rocking, just position point pressure on that right foot or left foot, and just rock side to side. Remember, as you're doing this, you're noticing, and notice kind of what the body's doing. Is it just kind of tipping side to side? Is it getting easier? Can you feel like it's just an easy sway on the ground? Pause, take your arms up, take your arms down, roll your shoulders forward, and roll yourself back up. We're gonna go straight back to the right heel. Press all your weight in, or as best you can. Take your weight out. Now find 50%. Press in, and then let's go right into a glide back and forth. Take that glide so the weight of the ball goes back towards the heel, and then bring that ball back to the arch of the foot. And one more time back towards the heel. Make sure you're getting to both sides of the heel. And then back to the arch. And then pause. Get your weight into the ball. Take your weight completely out. Get about 50% in again. And then tighten up that wiggle. Good, and then pause. We'll rinse. So all we just didn't do is all the position point pressing. And then friction, nice and quick. Nice and tall, nice and quick. Open up the toes. Get underneath those toes if you can. On the outside edge of the foot if you can. Inside of the arch. And then pause. Let's go right into the second side. And I'm doing this kind of on purpose, relatively quickly, so you can also see how quick a movement can be. So it's not always that it's super fast. I'm out now under my left foot. And then pause. Just even up your weight. Arms up, arms down. Roll your shoulders forward and roll your shoulders back up. Let's take that right foot back. Move the ball to the back of the foot. Place as much weight as you can tolerate on. Take that weight completely out and see if you can find 50%. Then let's go to glide. And back and forth. All the way to the arch of the heel, arch of the foot, and to the base of the heel. Back to the arch. And press in, press back out, 50%, and give it that shear. Tight wiggle. And pause. Let's go into a rinse. Big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth, and fifth. Good. And then we'll go right into our friction. So we're going to do friction on this side, under the toes, outside edge, inside, pause, go. Let's do this first foot again. Go right into that friction one more time. pause, and we're going to go right back to the second foot. So we get double flexion. Good. And go ahead and pause. Move that ball off to the side. Bring the feet underneath you. Bring your head and shoulders up. And just set yourself on those feet. Notice where your quads and glutes are. The weight, if it feels a little bit more balanced. Lift up all 10 toes. Big deep breath. And drop. Just kind of notice. Stay there. So go ahead and open your eyes. So the benefit is, if you experience some great results from a very quick treatment, nice and easy, it's right then and there. You're busy, you're tired, you've had a long day. Give yourself the opportunity of a quick reset. That foot treatment couldn't have taken us more than a minute or two, and just giving yourself the opportunity to not feel like every treatment has to be 5, 10, 15, whatever minutes long, but you can go quickly in, really reset your system quick, and then move on. Let's recheck the ball in the hand. You just touch your foot with it, but it's your foot. Just grab that ball and just notice. And we just, even from a different point of view, you started away, you checked your hand, you moved away from the hand, came back into the hand, and see if you notice a difference. And it's okay if you don't. It's always nice to do something that has nothing to do with the hands and notice a change in the hands. Go ahead, take the ball, just place it on the ground. Let's just start with our feet parallel. Let me take my jacket off. So again, the name of the game is always noticing, giving yourself the opportunity to find new ways to find balance and evenness, to notice different spots in the body all the way around, and then give yourself that opportunity to find ease then in all these different ways. Bring those feet parallel to each other. Take your arms up and over your head reach. And then exhale down. And again, take your arms up and over your head, reach. And then exhale down. One more time. Inhale, arms up and overhead, reach. Exhale, halfway down. Hands on the knees. Good. And then around the back. And then lift the tailbone. And then round back. Lift the tailbone. Moving that spine around the back. Lift the tailbone and round the back. Lift the tailbone. Stand up, take your arms up and over your head, reach. Hinge all the way forward, hands to the ground. Round the back. Inhale, lift the tailbone, lift the chest. Slide your hands down, just round the back. No work. It's just letting your body hang. And then slide the hands up, lift the tailbone, lift the chest, and then just round into that beautiful flexion. And then inhale, lift the tailbone, lift the chest. And one more time, round the back. Lift the tailbone, lift the chest, sweep the arms up and over the head. Exhale, hands through. Circle those arms up and over your head again. And then hinge all the way down to the ground, hands on the ground. Knees underneath, and then around the back. Inhale, lift the tailbone, lift the chest. Pull the belly in, round the back. Inhale, lift the tailbone, lift the chest. 2 more times, round the back. Inhale, lift the tailbone, lift the chest, and round the back, chin towards the string. Inhale, lift the tailbone, lift the chest, sink your weight back into your heels, feel the stretch in the ball of your feet. We're not going to stand back up. You're going to press into a downward facing dog. Push back. Now we've done these before in yoga. This is just a variation of a cat stretch. Keep your chin in your sternum. Bring your body weight over your wrists. Unfurl the upper body. Drop the knees to the ground. Sit back in the child's pose. And again, let's come to downward facing dog. Now you could do this on a chair. Come to downward facing dog on a chair even. So if it's too much on your wrists, you would be in downward facing dog. With that head drop. Roll yourself forward until you come into an up stretch. And then just sit back into your heels, kind of like a child's pose. Then press those legs straight, downward facing dog. Let the head drop between, roll yourself forward, drop your hips in. So again, if you're in a chair, you can still modify with the chair. If you're not in the chair, go back to, you're in a child's pose type position with your toes curled under. Lift your hips up, downward facing dog. Roll yourself forward, drop your hips in, lift your chest up. 2 more times, sit back, downward facing dog. Let that head dangle, roll yourself forward, drop your hips in, sit yourself back. And again, downward facing dog. Roll yourself forward. Drop your knees, your hips in, and then shift yourself back. Let's just come into a nice long child's pose. If you were up on a chair, come down. And then just head down, chin in, look down towards the floor. Breathe in long. Exhale with the same length. One more breath, nice, long, and deep. And then shift your weight forward. Let's bring the feet out in front. And then from here, arms in, roll back, take your hands back, and then lift your chest up. And then from there, just bring your hands forward, roll back. Take your hands back, lift your chest up into an arch, and then push forward, bringing your hands right back to your knees. Again, roll back. Slide your hands back. Lift your chest up, arching, tip from your arch, bring your hands back to your shins. 2 more. From your pelvis, upper back and shoulders, roll back and slide back. Press your chest up. Breathe and keep lifting up as you bring the hands forward. Last one, tuck and roll. Let those hands slide back. Lift your chest up. Roll your head and chest forward and hands come back. Beautiful, guys. Hopefully your spine's feeling fantastic. Let's come all the way down to the ground. Just getting as much movement as we can out of the spine. So important for the rest of the body. So we're going to roll the pelvis back and forth. So kind of like a tuck and tilt that you would do on the roller. Except, of course, there's no side movement here. So just feel the pelvis move. Remember, when the pelvis moves, you get movement through the neck as well. Breathe, just move that pelvis. So in the work of Pilates, we tend to not tuck so much, but just come up out of the lift. And then more yoga tend to articulate. Sometimes in Pilates, you articulate the spine as well. So, but just getting into each one of those little vertebrae. Pause. So your pelvis is more level. I want you to, now we're going to roll ourselves up to like a shoulder bridge or a glute bridge. So from here, pelvis is level. Remember your bucket, and that bucket is full of, or a little bit full of water. If it's tilted, the rib cage is going to be up and the water is down by the tailbone. If you're tucked, all the water pours out. So you want to be level to begin with. Hands by your side, roll. Notice your navel going down and then coming up, and then rib cage. And as I'm touching, you may not be able to see, but I'm trying to lift those vertebrae up until they come up to my shoulders. Breathing. And then from my sternum, rolling down. My shoulders open out. My shoulders are round or kind of opening. My tailbone's tucked. Now my ribs just above my belly button. belly button, pelvis, and then coccyx tailbone. Good. Let's go again. Roll yourself up. Now, for some people, moving their head and neck can be challenging, so it's nice to have a different kind of a movement. You can move your pelvis as an option for your head. It's not a perfect option. You want to be able to move your head. Lift up again. Glute bridge, not so much that you get so into the glutes, but that you get this nice long position from shoulders to hips with no pinching or binding at the small of the back. Sternum, keep that pelvis slightly tucked. Let each vertebra go down and then drop one more time. Curl, be specific, and roll yourself up. And then roll yourself back down. Tailbone is absolutely last. You want to just plunk, roll down, and then drop. Good. Let's take the hands behind the head. And so first, just stretch out the chest. Thumbs point down the sides of the neck. So your thumbs aren't at your temples, and you're not fully interlaced like a bucket. It's holding your head like a net, more like, with your fingertips kind of the back of those ears. And so you can't over grip your head. Get long in the neck, and we're going to lift the chest up. So again, I have curled my chin in. I've lifted my chest up. Very classic Pilates move is the chest lift, not the curl here. Holding for 10 more seconds. 9, 8, 7. So you can soften those shoulders. Let the head weight be supported by the arms. 4, 3, 2, and down. Release the arms. We're going to come back up again. Head and chest lift up. Again, don't jet the chin forward. Let the head weight sit back into the arms. Hold as best you can. Stay up. I'm going to lower back. And even if you can't come up, if you just engage, like I'm just coming off the ground in this position. So if it bothers your neck, lower back, or anything, you could come like a finger's thickness off the ground, and that would still be good movement. Or you can be up a little bit higher. Hold 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, and down. We're going to do that one more time. The chest lift is a very simple yet complex movement, because the other thing you're looking for is not having pelvis movement. So as I lift my chest up, very naturally my pelvis will tuck to counterbalance, but I want to try to keep my pelvis level. Remember that bucket. So again, inhale, exhale, lift that head and chest. Don't let the tailbone tuck. Keep that tailbone level. Lift as high as you comfortably can with your head weight still back in your hands. Hold for another 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and lower back down. Take your hands back behind your head. Take those arms out wide to the T, right knee and left knee up, and let's drop left and right sides. So because we did pelvis and upper thoracic or neck, I want to do some thoracic so that the body can evens itself out. Let those knees drop right and left. For that stretch, maybe underneath the armpits as you keep the shoulders down. Add the top knee, get that length. So you're kind of really adding the windshield wiper, feeling that stretch, that movement through the back of the leg as you extend the leg over. Knees stay together as best you can. If you're inchworming down your mat, just recover and figure your position out. Let's do 4 more to each side. Roll. 2 more to each side. Last one on each side. All right, come back to center. Drop your feet down. Let's take our hands down by the side. And we're just going to now, instead of doing a tuck to lift, just do a straight pelvic lift. So you're just in a nice glute bridge. As you do that, let your shoulders slide without pushing your feet that way. So I don't want you to over engage. And you can kind of feel if you're really engaging into your quadriceps, if you're pushing with your feet and it's really getting your shoulders tight here. Just lift your hips up. From here, hold. Take your hands down by your side. If you want to, even hold your mat like you're going to pull your mat apart. Hold that mat. Lift your left leg up and put it back down. Lift your right leg up and back down. Let's go 10 and 9. Keep those hips high. 8. Keep pulling that mat apart or pressing your hands down. 7. Neck is long. Try not to crowd the neck. 6. 5. Keep those hips high. 4. Getting a little bit more tough. 2 more each side. Last one each side. And down. Ooh. Extend both legs out and take those arms up over your head. Now I realize that for some of you, the first 3 were super easy and then it got challenging. Know yourself well enough to break these things down. Let yourself, if it's really, really challenging, pause at 5. Act like that's, give yourself another chance, and then maybe only do 2 or 3 more. Don't overdo it, especially if we're going to redo it like we are right now. So again, lift your hips up, press your hands down, up. If you want, pull the mat apart. If you're on a mat, lift your left leg up and then right leg up. I'm going to go 5 each leg. 4, 3, 2. This time we're going to leave the right leg up. Hold up, drop the hip down for 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one. Lower the right foot down, lift the left knee up, drop and lift from the right leg. 3, 4, 5. Lower the left foot down, raise the right foot up. Let's go 5 again. 4, 3, 2. Last one. Lower the right foot down, lift the left leg up. 5, 4. Pull that mat. 3, 2, and last one. Lower the hips, drop down, separate the feet. Let's drop the knees side to side. Let that knee of that right leg get to the ground so you stretch that nice psoas out. As well on your left side too. If you've been having any back issues, when you're doing this, again, you don't have to come up that high. You could just contract the muscle and then lift the knee and just push the ground away without actually lifting off the ground. But always give that psoas, the back, time to release after as best you can. 2 more. And last one each side. All right, back to center. Feet down, hips are going to come up. This time, arms come up over our head. Hold in line with the ears, and then extend your left leg out. Bring your left foot back in. Extend your right leg out. Bring your right foot back in. Let's go 4 more. Breathe. That's too much. Take your arms to a T. Breathe. Again, if it's too much, just extend your leg out. Don't worry so much about how high the hips are. Last 2. Last one, each leg. Kind of feel the wobbly of the body. And then down. Lower the arms back down. Reset your back. Just set for a sec because we're going to do it again. Lift those hips up when you're ready. Arms overhead first. Pack those arms back into the body to engage the lats. Lift the hips up. Just extend the right leg. Pull the right foot in. Extend the left leg. Extend the right leg. You've got 4 more. And 3. And 2. And last one. Each leg. And down. All right, we're going to add one more thing on. You can go back to the first thing where you're just marching the leg. This second thing where you're taking the movements away. Almost think of what we just did as kind of like a dead bug. And then you're going to lift the hips up, bring the arms up, tap the right hand to the left leg, overhead and back. So now we've gone from a single leg to an extended position, and it's kind of like a dead bug. So again, I'm using my right leg to hold, lift my hips up, keep my left hand here, bring my left knee up, tap, reach away and back to center. You've got 8 as best you can. 7, you can do this on the ground. 6, you don't have to lift up. 5, or you can hold up. 4, 3, 2, last one. And then lower down. Again, similar to the dead bug, we're only doing one side though, but the pelvis is lifted. A little bit more challenging. You do not have to lift the hips. That's your option. But as you can, lift those hips. Bring your right knee up. Left hand stays and right hand stays there. Extend and come in. Breathe in. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one. Nice job, guys. Just drop. Let's do a nice, easy dead bug to begin with. Right arm overhead with left leg. Foot is flexed or softly pointed. Let's go 5 more each side. Three more. 2. And last ones each side. All right. Take those arms up to a T. Drop both knees to your left. Close the gate. Circle the right arm all the way overhead. Let's do 3 more. Close the gate. Half circle or rainbow overhead. 2 more. All the way overhead. And last one. Good. Bring those knees up. Let's take those legs over. That beautiful stretch down the whole left side of the body. Close the gate. Left arm up and over. Beautiful. Take that left arm to meet your right. Last 2. Last one here. And then bring everything back. Let's just go ahead and pause in the center for a second. So if you've been having issues with your hips or back, or it just is a lot of work for you because maybe your job requires a lot of sitting, working those hip flexors, keeping that pelvis level can be very challenging and can be very frustrating. So again, when you do these, if you don't remember these or when you watch this video, go slow if you need to. Know what's coming up. All right, bring your knees one at a time into your chest and let's just rock ourselves up. Bring your feet back behind you. Let's start with a regular knees rocking. Eyes forward, head forward, chest forward, slow. Your toes can point back if you want more range of motion here. Or toes curled under. Then just find your breath for a couple of movements here. And then let's go to half knee. Rock back, step forward, Body is tall, shift forward and shift back. So I'm not going that far back into this half kneeling. I'm going to take this same right foot and I'm going to go to kickstand, kind of not missing a beat as best I can. And you get that deeper upper inner thigh. So again, if you have outer hip or inner thigh issue, this is a great movement, a great reset, not the great reset if you're concerned, but a great movement reset that can open up the groin, the hamstrings. 2 more. And just breathe. Let's bring that right knee in. Come up, bring the left leg forward. And again, you're not going back necessarily as far back as you can to straighten out your hamstring. Like that would be rocking all the way back and coming forward. I mean, unless you want to. About 3 more. And I'm just going to turn to the other direction and then single leg kickstand. Three more. 2 more. And last one, sink back, hold. You're going to take your right hand because your left leg is through, reach towards your left foot, look up, and then reach up. Reach through, a reach up, a different variation of a thoracic rotation. Reach through and reach up. One more time, reach through and reach up and down. Let's go to the other side. My right leg is out. I'm going to take my left hand through, look, and reach up. Reach through and reach up. Reach through and reach up. Last time, reach through and reach up and back down. Let's finish with knees rocking again. And then let's come down to the ground. Make a pillow out of both of your hands, toes point back, head to that pillow, and just let yourself breathe for about 5 deep breaths. Let them make sure the upper back is open so you're not closed in, hands way out in front of you. And then as you're ready, come up to TV watching position. Big breaths. Look up, look down, look up. Now, as you look down, round the back a little bit. Drop the belly, lift the chest. Pull the belly in, round the back. Drop the belly, lift the chest. Chin to the sternum, pull the belly in, round the back. One more time. Lift the tailbone, or sorry, lift the head, and then drop the chin toward the sternum. Just to come back up, push with your hands, sit all the way back, round the back, chin toward the sternum, lift the tailbone, lift the chest, pull your belly in, inhale. Walk your hands to your right and round the back, and then lift, and then curl, and lift. And again, I'm just walking to the outside of my knee. I'm doing that kind of that cat stretch there. It just puts my body in a little bit of a flexion sideways. And then lift, walk your hands forward, come into tall kneeling, lift the chin, lift the chest, and then pull back in. And then lift up elbows pull back, and then roll in. One more time, lift up, and then roll in. Come up to your feet. Take your hands between your legs and round the upper back. Pull against your thighs, round, and then release, round, and release. Pull up against the back of your thighs, round, and release. One more time, round, and release. Roll yourself up. Take your hands behind your head. Lift your chest up, lay your head back into your hands, and then head down, and then roll yourself up, head back, and then head down. One more time. Inhale, roll up, and then head down. Bring that head back up. Bring your arms down. Take your arms up, and then exhale down. And we are done. So hopefully you felt that nice flexion, extension, rolling, rounding movement of the whole spine. Revisit this video. Give yourself that opportunity to find that nice hip extension, back flexion in every different position. All right. See you guys next week.